Why is Soul Garden important? Well, this is where I go off into really big rants. It's important in so many different ways, but the world today is not like it was 100 years ago, 2,000 years ago. We've been on an exponential curve where the world has been changing for a long time, but it's getting faster and faster and more dramatic and more difficult to keep up with. What it means to be human isn't so clear cut anymore. We're all sort of trying to discover that as individuals now. We have a hard time with, we don't have the psychic energy really required anymore to connect with our religions, our cultures, our traditions, our families, none of it. So Soul Garden is important for many reasons because I sort of see it as a remedy for all of the stress and difficulties that humanity is going through right now. And it's a radically different kind of remedy. It's one that puts it in your face like, hey, let's have an intention here. Let's not make any kind of judgment or drawing any kind of lines to try to figure out what's good, what's bad, what works, what doesn't work, what's a positive emotion, what's a negative one. None of that, none of that. You are your own individual. No one is a better doctor or priest or imam or shaman or whatever. No one is better suited to help you than you. And as much as we are quite individualistic in some Western societies, we've forgotten exactly what it means to be an individual. It means you have to develop yourself. So Soul Garden is important for that reason. We focus on the level of the individual because communities, a lot of people start different kind of communities. You have yoga communities, you have sports type communities, you have a whole different range of types of communities, whether they're religious, cultural, artistic. But they all sort of promote this idea of being in a community to socialize. But humans are the most social animal on the planet. We don't need to socially engineer that. It's already there. There needs to be a bit of structure and a little bit of of a balance there, but we don't need to incentivize people to come together as a community. We have a hard time doing that when we don't share the same kinds of viewpoints politically or with our values. But as individuals, if you want to learn how to take part into a community, you don't look for one that resembles you or that you like. It's all about learning to create community, no matter what you have, like circumstances or people around you. That's where true community, happens, and it happens through individual growth. So there it is. That's why Soul Garden is important, because we understand that, and we're trying to tackle that issue with a high degree of awareness. And I don't see that many projects or places or people that are doing it. They're doing it in various different ways. You have public intellectuals, you have different kinds of artists and influential people that are giving very encouraging lectures and books and arts that helps people in their growth as human beings. But this kind of thing, this well organized with this kind of level of intention, I haven't seen it yet. So it's important. It's very important because when you leave school, it's kind of hard to be in an environment where, you have everything you need to grow and, and connect. And so, placing yourself outside of the comfort zone and not being safe, it's important. So Soul Garden is important for that reason, Obviously, we're not completely dangerous. We don't want you to take crazy risks, but we understand that reality is reality, and there's a higher danger for you not to develop yourself as an individual than there is to allow yourself to be safe. So we give you an environment wherein you have some degree of safety, but really you're here to grow, and growing will mean facing dangers, whether internal or external. So that's what it is. That's the intention. But like I said, Soul Garden is a garden, and it'll grow the way it'll grow. I certainly hope it doesn't devolve into any kind of cult or, crazy community or whatever that becomes the antithesis of what it is that we want to do, which is to just service humanity and get in touch with who we are again and see what can come from it. So we're very important.